Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. My name is Eric Pate, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Racing with Eric Pate. As obvious, I'm your host, Eric Pate. We kind of got a little bit of a full episode today. Well, by full episode, I mean we kind of got a long one here today. Letting you know, section 3, which is controversy of the week from the last couple weeks. Since I totally forgot what happened, I use AI, so if we get to the controversy of the week and it sounds like it was written by AI, it was. Because either AI wasn't paying attention, because it was just some hard racing that was going on, and during cool down lap 1 that the drivers didn't got like super butthurt or whatever. Hey, baby. And yeah. Yeah, they didn't show it, but then next thing you know, we see Chastain in okay, and then we see Chastain in Suarez almost getting into it. All right. So the topic of discussion is top 10 from Vegas, Arlington, and Darlington, and both points in the results. Like I said, the controversy from last week, I don't think there was a wreck of the last couple weeks. What I can think of is the Chastain. We got a little bit of a penalty report. If a driver, now here's the thing, if a driver gets a speeding penalty throughout the race, I messed something up on the Chase Briscoe on the Chase Briscoe on the penalty report. Unless they can come back and finish in top 10 or win the race, we will not talk about. Okay, I was like, since when did Logano get a fast food restaurant as a sponsor? Anyway, I got distracted with something. Unless they can get back in the top 10, with Chase Briscoe ended up getting 8th. We'll get into that in just a few moments. I do not talk about speeding penalties. I would not say them in the penalty report. But unless they come back and finish in the top 10, because it's rarity getting a penalty, then come back to finish in top 10. Then we're going to look at the pit road timing lines. I actually have an example. We're going to look at 3 examples here from 3 different angles of what the pit road timing lines look like. Actually, let's do 4 different examples. Is the fourth one I just looked at shows us one side of Bristol, and because Bristol has 2 pit roads. And we'll talk about Bristol after next week. Real quick, Martinsville, we're going to go on a little bit of a break from the Cup next week. So, Martinsville, we're going to do Martinsville, Rockingham. Rockingham is only going to have O'Reilly in trucks because of Easter. But I will be at church during the truck race, so I probably won't be able to watch. Actually, what time is that truck race? Let me check real quick. Schedule. Craftsman Truck Series. What time is Rockingham? Okay, I might be able to listen to a good chunk of that, if not all of it, because the church is not till. It starts at 4:30, but church is at 6:30. So, anyway, I'm not gonna say what church I go to, so that's gonna remain private. Anytime I do have a shirt that does have my church on it. I would not be wearing that on this channel due to privacy reasons. But, alright, anyway, here we go. Let's go in and jump into it. Top 10 results. So from Vegas and Arlington, we got Denny Hamlin, Chase. Now this is top 10. Now I'm reading it from 1st to 10th. First place, Denny Hamlin. Second place, Chase Elliott. Third place, William Byron. Fourth place, Christopher Bell. Fifth place, Ty Gibbs. Chris Buescher was 6th. Kyle Larson was 7th. Chase Briscoe 8th. We just discussed him. We're going to discuss him more in just a few moments on the 3 penalties he received. 2 of them on the track, 1 away from the track. I just think it's funny to include it. And 10th was Brad. 9th, Bubba Wallace. 10th, Brad Keselowski. In the race called the Luna, that is right, there was an actual race called the Luna. Kyle Larson 1st, Christopher Bell 2nd, Sheldon Creed 3rd, Justin Allgaier 4th, Sammy Smith 5th, Jesse Love 6th, Carson Quapple 7th, Corey Day 8th, 9th, William Salich 10th, Austin Hill. At the Arlington Grand Prix, we got Kyle Kirkwood 1st, Alex Palou 2nd, Will Power 3rd, Marcus Ericsson 4th, 5th, Pato Award 6th, David Malukas 7th, Christian Lundgaard 8th, Scott Dixon 9th, Alexander Rossi 10th, Marcus Armstrong. Just because we're already in this column, why won't we work backwards from lowest series to highest series? Buckle up, South Carolina. We got Corey Hunt. I kind of want to talk about how you won that race. We're going to talk about it actually just a second. Corey Heim, Ross Chastain, Christian Eckes, 3rd. 2nd and 1st. Eckes 3rd, Chastain 2nd, Heim 1st. 4th, Kenny Honeycutt. 5th, Connor Mosack. 6th, Christopher Bell. 7th, Grant Finger. 8th, Giovanni Ruggiero. 9th, Daniel Hemrick. 10th, William Salich. Sports Clip VFW or Veterans Award 200, Justin Allgaier 1st. Brandon Jones 2nd, Christopher Bell 3rd, Kyle Larson 4th. 5th, Carson Quapple 6th, Corey Day, Sheldon Creed 7th, Parker Latsoff 8th. 9th, Sammy Smith, 10th, Sam Mayer. In a Goodyear 400 for 4th time, I'm saying his name as a race winner, Tyler Reddick 1st. 2nd, Brad Keselowski. Well, 4th time this season. 13th time he's won a race. No, 12th, my bad. Tyler Reddick 1st, 2nd, Brad Keselowski, 3rd, Ryan Blaney, Carson Holstebard 4th, Austin Cindric 5th, 6th, Ty Gibbs, 7th, Daniel Suarez, 9th, Chris Buescher, 10th, Eric Jones. Letting you guys know, if you guys have not known this, I have actually met Eric Jones before. Don't believe me? I'll include a pic at the end of this video. Okay. For the top 10 in points after Arlington or Darlington. Tyler Reddick, 325. I'm not surprised there. Ryan Blaney, 230. Bubba Wallace, 205. Denny Hamlin, 203. This is Cup Series, by the way. 5th place, Chase Elliott, 194. 6th place, William Byron, 191. Chris Buescher, 188. Christopher Bell, 182. Brad Keselowski, 182. Now, I would give the... Let me go back to here real quick. Why did I give Bell the tiebreaker? Oh, that was the way it was on the app. But it was up to me. I would give Keselowski the tiebreaker. Kyle Larson, 176. All right out parts. Justin Allgaier, 306. Jesse Love, 254. Carson Quapple, 222. Sheldon Creed, 218. Austin Hill, 210. Sammy Smith, 192. Corey Day, 188. Brandon Jones, 170. Parker Latsoff, 169. Rajah Caruth, 151. On the Truck Series, Chandler Smith, 172. Caden Honeycutt, 139. Lane Riggs, 131. Giovanni Ruggiero, 127. Ty Majeski, 121. Christian Eckes and Ben Rhodes, 119. I'll give the tiebreaker to Eckes, as he was the best finisher in the last race. Corey Heim, 114. I swear, I thought he was not racing full time. I don't know why he's getting points. Andre Perez, 90, and Justin Haley, 89. I do want to talk about Corey Heim here in just a moment. We're also going to talk about... actually, we are going to talk about him in just a moment. Altogether. About something I was thinking about earlier today, and how he won. In IndyCar, Kyle Kirkwood, 126. Alex Palou, 100. Pato Award, 100. I'm giving the tiebreak to Palou, since Palou does have a win on the season. Joseph Newgarden, 93. Scott McLaughlin, 85. David Malukas, I forgot to write down his points. So, here, I'll get you those points in just a second. Christian Lundgaard, 80. Marcus Ericsson, 77. Marcus Armstrong, 70. And Alexander Rossi, 64. Okay. Let's talk about Corey Heim for just a second. What do I want to start off with first? Okay, how he won. He was 9th, and I guess, like, on the last restart, he just took off running. Who was it I need to go to? Oh, wait a second. It was Pato O'Ward, Joseph Newgarden that were tied at 93. I'm going to give even though IndyCar.com is showing that Joseph Newgarden is lower than Pato O'Ward. That was a mistake by me, by the way. Pato O'Ward actually has 93 points, not 100. That was a mistake 100% by me. But I'm going to get the tiebreaker to Joseph Newgarden, put him to the 3rd position. Even though the stats are showing that O'Ward has more top 5s, but what O'Ward does not have that Newgarden does is a win. So that's why I'm going to get the tiebreaker to Newgarden, because Newgarden does have a win on the season. Malukas has 84 points. That was a mistake on my part with putting Pato O'Ward at 100 points. He's actually at 93. Even though IndyCar.com is showing him at 93, tied with Newgarden, and having O'Ward as better, with him having finished in top 5 in all 3 races. But like I said, Newgarden won in Phoenix. So, I am going to get the tiebreaker to Newgarden in this situation. Okay. Before we get into what happened in Vegas between Chastain and Suarez, this kind of irks me. What I'm about to say irks me. Okay. Now, I'm probably about to piss off some Riley Hurst fans, but I'm not gonna care what I'm about to say. But I'm gonna say it. He should not be in the Cup Series. I feel like Corey Heim was robbed of a ride. I really feel like Corey Heim got robbed of a Cup ride. A couple years ago, when 2311 expanded from a 2-car team to a 3-car team, adding in the 35, because the numbers are 23, 45, and 35. 23 was the first number, and then a year later, 45 was added. A year after they opened, 45 was added. It went to Kurt Busch. Then after Kurt Busch had his season-ending, did I say season-ending? I'm going to say career-ending concussion at Pocono. The ride went to Tyler Reddick in 2023. It was supposed to actually go to him in 2024, but Danny Hamlin and Michael Jordan bought out Tyler Reddick's contract from RCR. Anyway, here's the part that pisses me off. Just a couple years ago, they added a 3rd car, the 35. And everybody was thinking that 35 car was going to go to Corey Heim. I thought it. Everybody thought it. A bunch of NASCAR fans actually thought that the 35 car was going to go to Corey Heim. And it should have gone to him. Riley Hurst, who's only won 3 times in the Xfinity Satchel O'Reilly Series. I want to pull something up here. We're gonna play apples to apples, if you know what I mean. We're gonna combine trucks in Xfinity. Alright, Corey Heim is 23 years old. I am just slightly older than Corey Heim. July 5th, 2022. So, about 8 months older than Corey Heim. I am than Corey Heim. Okay, never mind. About said, I'm pretty sure. But, okay. So, this is what Corey Heim's stats looks like. Now, he's only ran 8 cup races. 1 top 10. That 1 top 10 came at Bristol in 2025. Now, he's only ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cup races. 8. Xfinity, he's ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I got 20. What does this say? Yeah. 6 top 10s in 20 races. His best finish in a Xfinity race was, looks like 3rd in 2024 at Iowa. Now, picture this. 24 Truck Series wins. And half of those just coming just last year. Let's see. He got 2 wins in 2022. Just his 3rd start. No. 5th start. My bad. And then a year later. Why was he out for Gateway again? I gotta figure out why he was out for Gateway in 23. Is he suspended? Anyway, he got 2 wins in 22, 3 wins in 24. No, 23. Made it to Phoenix. Originally finished 3rd, but had to drop to 4th after a penalty after some retaliation against Carson Hocevar. Then got 13 minus 5. Add 5, that's 18. And then got 6 wins, looks like, in 2024. And finished 2nd in the overall standings in 2024. Then in 2025, I think this was a dumb move by whoever decided to not give this man a full-time ride. They're completely stupid. They're completely dumb. Because I'm looking at this. 12 wins last year, a championship last year in the Truck Series. He doesn't have a full-time ride. Okay? I go with Riley Hurst, who only has 3 wins. Now, he does have 88 top 10s in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. But he's ran 44 races and has 3 top 10s. And his best finish in Cup. Because I know his best Xfinity finish was a 1st place at a couple tracks. Was an 8th place. All 3 of his top 10 finishes looks like they came at pack race tracks. Super speedways. Daytona, 2 in Daytona and 1 in Talladega. But Corey Heim, he doesn't have a full-time ride. What was his best Cup finish? A 6th at Bristol. A 6th at Bristol. And that irks me about the fact that he doesn't have a Cup ride. No, not just a Cup ride, a full-time ride. I'm just going to say this, and I don't care if I piss off Riley Hurst fans. If he does not win races here, Riley Hurst, does not win a cup race this year, Denny Hamlin, you need to replace him with Corey Heim. I'm not asking you to replace Riley Hurst with Corey Heim. I'm telling you that you need to replace Corey Heim. No, that you need to replace Riley Hurst with Corey Heim. Because I'm literally looking at all their best finishes, and yes, compared to Riley Hurst's 44 starts in the Cup Series to Corey Heim's 8 starts in the Cup Series. But Corey Heim's best finish was a 6th place on a short track. And if he has more rides, Corey Heim would be in the Cup Series. If he gets more rides, because he might prove before too long why he belongs in either the old Riley Auto Park Series or the Cup Series. Let's get into the next. Alright, so thanks for my rant on Corey Heim. Next part. Towards the end of the tensions between Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez escalated from hard racing into a full-blown confrontation during the Vegas race. Late in the race, the two were battling for position when Suarez led up the track and crowded Chastain, frustrating him but not causing a crash. What started as aggressive racing quickly carried over into the cool-down lap, where Chastain showed his anger by gesturing at Suarez and swerving into his car, making contact after the race had already ended. Once both drivers reached pit road, the situation boiled over as Suarez confronted Chastain face-to-face, leading to a heated argument and then shoving between the two before crews and officials stepped in to separate them. After Suarez criticized Chastain's actions as unacceptable and said he had lost respect for him, while Chastain later admitted he regretted how he handled the situation. The incident was especially notable given for their history as former teammates, adding another layer to an already tense rivalry. Again, all I remember when I was watching this race, I remember watching Hamlin being interviewed, talking about like his wife and kids and actually what he all went through. December 29th of last year, he lost his dad. Of 2025, lost his dad in a house fire. 5 years after, on that same day, 5 years after I lost somebody, on that same day, 5 years prior, lost my stepbrother Gabe. 5 years prior, on that same day. So I know how tough it was on him. And actually, we're going to talk about him just a little bit in the next part. And yeah. Alright, anyway, on the way to the racetrack, Chase Briscoe's penalty, one of 3 penalties was on the way to the racetrack. He got a speeding ticket, an actual speeding ticket on the way to the track. On lap 40, he got another speeding ticket, but this time he had to drive through pit road. He couldn't just simply. No, he couldn't just drive down pit road when he got the other. No, this one he had to drive down pit road. Then at lap 85, during the pit stops, a wheel got loose and he had to go to the back after fixing it, and Ty Gibbs pit stall. He wasn't the only Joe Gibbs driver who got a speeding ticket that day. Hamlin and Gibbs also got a speeding ticket during the race. Actually, on the same lap, Briscoe had his tire almost get away from him. Hamlin managed to rebound to win the race. And actually led the most laps in the race too, at 134 laps led, and dedicated the win to his dad. Then penalty number 3 I wrote. We're gonna go ahead and actually skip 3 for just a second. After Patrick Starpoli's crew chief Bowles fell out of his car, crew chief Patrick Donahue, car chief Dylan Bassett, and engineer Morgan Olson will have to set out. They already set out Darlington, so they just have to set out for 3 more races: Martinsville, Rockingham, and Bristol. after the ballast fell out. If a ballast falls out of your car, it's automatic 4-way suspension for your crew chief, your car chief, and your engineer. They will be able to return for the canvas race. Speaking of suspensions, we have an indefinite suspension. What is an indefinite suspension? Meaning you are suspended for the time being. There's no time frame when you can return. And that lucky person is Daniel died. Suspended for mocking IndyCar Series driver David Malukas by insinuating that Malukas was homosexual on a Whatnot livestream. I heard what he said, and he was just playing around. But I do understand that it could be sensitive to people. So I see where NASCAR's coming from. But he was playing around. But again, I can kind of see where NASCAR's coming from. I do think this is kind of a controversial suspension. But like I said, I understand that sometimes you cannot do stuff like that. Alright. So a couple weeks ago we talked about timing lines around the racetrack, which were invisible lines around the racetrack. But that will change electronically. What are pit road timing lines? Well, they're a lot like the timing lines we discussed a couple weeks ago, but instead, they're more evenly apart, and it's clearly marked. That's why we're going to look at a few examples here. It is marked on pit road. If your time is lower than allowed, you'll be given a penalty, a speeding penalty. So if you have to go through, so it's supposed, like we'll say it's supposed to take 5 seconds to go through a box. Instead, you went 3.5. Yeah, that's how the speeding penalty is given out. If your box is between two lines, you will not get a penalty in section. Section 1 is 80 feet, while the last section is 54 feet. Every other section is 100 to 150. So let's take a look here. What I'm talking about by the lines. Alright, wait for my phone. Okay. So this is from Bristol. Okay, that's Chris Buescher right here where my cursor is. So right here is a timing line, and then another one right here that is and it runs a whole length of pit row, as you can see here. This is at Charlotte Motor Speedway again, where I'm running my finger, my cursor along is where the timing line is. Now, the start-finish line does run through pit row, but one thing I'm going to say is that it would not count as a timing line. This is Daytona. See that we got 3 timing lines here. No, 4 here. Now this is the start and finish line here, but that doesn't count. Like I said, it doesn't count as one. Here's Las Vegas. Here's a couple right here, and usually the last timing line is usually the exit to pit row. Let's see if I can find. Okay, this is Nashville, I believe. And the last line is like all the way over here. Is there one where it's like... let's use this one. This is New Hampshire, and this timing line right here is usually the one where you can exit pit row. Hold on, let me find a really good one. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good angle for a pit row exit. It doesn't really matter though, but this is Talladega. Talladega's like, okay, here's a yellow line here, and that's usually going to be the same color. Here are my picks. Now, last part. Man, that's a 30-minute episode. Wow. It was really jam-packed today. Now, we're going to have another Cookout 400 at Richmond. So that's why I'm saying Cookout 400 Martinsville edition. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Joey Logano. They are all really good at Martinsville. And if you don't have at least 300 drivers in your lineup or Martinsville, you're crazy. And then I think Carnazillich and Ty Gibbs are going to be my 2 underdog picks. I was just too lazy to change my underdogs. NFPA 250, Brandon Jones, who does have a win here. Justin Allgaier does have a win here. Austin Hill, defending winner of this race. I think Sheldon Creed can finish second here on a couple of occasions. And Jesse Love, I do think, are going to have a chance to win in Martinsville. Underdogs, I'm going with Carson. I'm going to go with the same guys I went with last week. Carson Kvapil, Corey Day. I really feel like Corey Day is going to win himself a race this year. The children of Alabama Grand Prix, Alex Palou, Scott Dixon, Scott McLaughlin, Kyle Crooker, and Justin Newgarden. And I'm going with Colton Herta and David Malukas. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Check your flags in the air. See you guys later.